Good morning, everybody. This is Cliff London coming from the rainy, wet land of Chicago. First things first, those of you that tuned in and saw me attempting the vegan meat recipe, I didn't film the conclusion because, quite frankly, it was anticlimactic. But I will give you the details. I lived off of it for about a couple of days, and it wasn't half bad. I mean, it handled the cravings. I mean, it obviously wasn't meat, but it wasn't meant to be meat. It wasn't meant to be the Impossible Burger. So I would say that I would give the whole experiment probably about a B plus. When I go on to move on to burgers and try to make things that require a binding agent and stuff like that, I apologize. I don't know why my video is doing that. I don't know why my phone is doing that, so just bear with me. I don't know what it's going on with the lighting right now, but it's automatic. I don't know if it's auto adjust or something like that. But anyway, so vegan thing went well. Second order of business is, oh my God, Colin, the fraud, Kaepernick, is coming out with a book. Now I know people are going to say that I'm just hating and that I'm just jealous, blah, blah, blah. Any of these empty ass platitude excuses for this man you can come up with, go ahead, lay it on me. At the end of the day, he'll still be a damn idiot. But I just want to point out something to you people that swear by this man and is acting like he's the next coming of Malcolm. I'm going to say this. So, for like the past, 3, maybe 4 years, you really haven't heard him speak. He's had all these other people speaking on his behalf. You've heard nothing from him. Okay. Until the recent, the all-time great. It's time for the NFL to stop running. Call Roger Goodell, tell them I'm ready to play. The ball's in your court. And then he ran off kind of drag queen-esque into the sunset. Okay, so he said that. But up until that and the dumb tweet he put out that probably was a quote, not his own words. You guys got to remember, like in 2000, I forget what it was, early in his career, the dude was taking his Instagram picture talking about the thousands of pairs of shoes he owned and stuff like that. Then a few years later, all of a sudden, he's Huey P. Newton. Now, I did watch a documentary by a very good YouTuber, one of my favorites, and, okay, still. Okay, yeah, maybe he started doing it 3 years ago, this whole activism thing. Beforehand, maybe he'd been into it for a long time, but still, just says to me that the man having an identity crisis. I mean, it doesn't, none of that stuff really, really matters, and the reason why it really doesn't matter is because after everything, after the protest, after the suing of the NFL. After all that, now let's keep in mind how rare it is in everyday life that you get to sue the company and they still schedule you for an interview, which is what happened in this situation. I mean, maybe they had ulterior motives in the situation, but it doesn't matter what ulterior. And maybe, hey, even if the NFL at large had ulterior motives, maybe some of these coaches did it. I mean, it was mid-season. They took time off to go and watch this dude play, and then he made a fiasco out of the interview. I mean, because look, even if they wanted him to sign different waivers, this, that, and the third, all he could have did was, go ahead and do your interview. You just go in there and say, hey, can I have someone film on my end? That's it. That's it. And that way, you put your stuff out, they put their stuff out, and then you go from there. And if it is some kind of conspiracy or something like that, then you would have proof that they couldn't deny you. But the narrative should have been for him personally, like he already gave up something for black folks. He already sacrificed, so-called. I think it was self-serving. I think it was more about him. But let's just for argument's sake, let's say that he made that. So I feel like he gave up shit. He doesn't owe us shit. You know what I mean? He doesn't owe blacks shit. So now after it's all said and done, he had his little fight. He did his protest. He got his message out there. Now he's got a chance to end his story by balling and maybe even coming back. Maybe he doesn't have to win a Super Bowl. Maybe he just is comeback player of the year. Maybe he has a good record. Maybe he does get another title. That is the true victory. That would shut people like me up. That would have shut people like the rednecks up. That would have shut all kind of people up. All the just play football. You're a loser offhand on the field, which is true. Money doesn't make you a winner. And stuff like that. But see, he didn't. Because I think deep down inside, he knows that he ain't got it. He can, there's a lot of strong guys that don't play football that can like sling it far. But, when are you still mobile? Are you still as mobile as you were? Can you take hits? Are you accurate? Which he never was accurate in the first place. And he was 11 losses and 1 win when he was benched. But that's just another video altogether. But I'm saying that, he caused that little stunt so he wouldn't be exposed as the mediocre, glorified backup that he was. Okay? Now back to my original point. This man has nothing to say at all, through all this. By the way, the media is in uproar. The NFL is talking about it. Yet he says nothing. But now that he has a dumbass book coming out, he's doing interviews. He's on talk shows. Probably going to be on BET and get some kind of fucking neighborhood outreach award or something ridiculous like that. Now he has something to say. Oh, and when he does talk, it's like those stereotypical 70s, 80s revolutionaries when they string all those long words together trying to make a point, by the inequities and the selfishness and the oppression of the white men. He's like that, except worse, because he's quoting it. Now, it's not his words. I'm sure he just read, maybe he just read Malcolm X, maybe he's reading Frederick Douglass, maybe he's reading some of the, I would guess that he's probably reading, some of the, Huey P. Newton's memoirs, Eldridge Cleaver, or Bobby Seale. He's probably, along those lines. Probably worse, not even reading those books, but watching the movies, or looking it up on the internet, or having weird ass Ness Nitty tell him what to say next. I think he's basically not that bright, and he has handlers. I believe the man is a prop. And I believe all of you that follow him and call people coon for not metaphorically sucking his dick, or even the biggest idiots of all, because you are the ones that are going to buy this book and linger on every word when you should be doing something else with your time. That being said, back to Kaepernick. That's why he's a fraud. That's why I call him Colin the Fraud Kaepernick, because all these years that he could have been speaking for the quote unquote struggle or his quote unquote cause, he wasn't saying shit. But all of a sudden, he pops up the fucking savior right in time for his book to come out. Come on, people. Come on, let's stop this with this worshiping of degenerate culture. This dude's almost as bad as some of these fucking studio rappers. He's kind of like that. He's a media activist. He's a media prop. He's the same thing. He's the equivalent of a studio gangster. That's what he is. Well, fake. Fake ass studio gangster. Mediocre quarterback had one good year, sucked. Decided to do a very misguided protest because you know what? Actually, if it was only just one killing that he decided to kneel in solidarity for, okay, whatever, I was cool with it, whatever, move on. But his reasoning and the way that he's not speaking from his own mind, it's just all fake. There's nothing real about it, so you can't even get behind it because there's no conviction. I don't know about other black folks, but see, I'm not starving for a leader. I'm not starving for guidance. I'm my own fucking man. I can stand on my own laurels. I don't need Kaepernick to kneel for me. Thanks, but I don't need it, buddy, and I didn't ask you to. I don't worry about fucking police brutality. You know why? Because I stay my black ass out of trouble. And you can call that whatever you want to call it. But no, I call it being a fucking American citizen. You know, I don't have to do shit. You know, I'll get a fucking job. I'll go to work every day, you know, when my failures are my own, not the white man's. Sure, I know we have to work as hard. We have to work twice as hard as a white guy, but we still have choices. We still can choose not to worship dumbass rappers. We still can choose to promote shit like pulling your fucking pants up. We still can do that. We still can reject the welfare state finally. We can do that. We can cause a renaissance in our neighborhoods to where businesses want to come there or start our own. Grab our piece of this world and take it instead of waiting on the white man or some fraud like Lori Lightfoot to give it to us. We are just as smart as black men. We are just as capable. We are capable of reasoning. We are capable of philosophy. And I don't understand why we don't just be individuals and why we have to be such sheep to follow frauds like Colin, the fraud, Kaepernick. It is amazing to me how many of you people come to this man's defense when it's so obvious that he ain't shit but a media creation. And he doesn't need your love or your support. He didn't need it. Our love, well, used to love, mine anyway, you know, that's what got him the other, that and Jay-Z, that's what got him the other shot. Okay? Now everybody's blaming Jay-Z and everything, saying that he's a, you know, sell out for trying to make this deal. But wait a minute, wasn't that, how many times I hear you people years throughout my life going, well, how many black owners? The NFL ain't got to know those black owners. Why is that? And then this guy, and I don't even like Jay-Z, but this guy is coming trying to make moves. He actually was powerful in the sense that he came in and said, look, if you want to do business with me, you got to give Cap another shot. Kaepernick, Mr. It's time for the NFL to stop running. Motherfucking idiot. Anyways, but so he gets the interview and screws it up, but you people still, do you still think that Colin took a knee for us, he doing that for us? No. He should have been doing things for himself. But I guess you guys don't hear me though, right? I guess I'm the Uncle Tom or Coon for not falling in line with this nonsense about Colin Kaepernick. Now, the man came out with a book. Now, a lot of people, yeah, well, you should knock it until you've read it. Well, you know, I'll be able to get it soon, but I don't think I'm going to waste any time reading it. I mean, what? He's not intelligent enough to have written it, you know, to have any input. It's probably a ghostwriter, somebody writing it all the way. He probably won't even get to read it, or if ever. And yes, I'm making assumptions because the man hasn't said anything until these dumbass book tour interviews or whatever. And again, it's this bullshit mumbo jumbo that he just looked up or that he read. It's rhetoric that doesn't even go with today's society. It makes no sense. And I don't understand why a lot of these younger people and a lot of these activists try to attack the civil rights the same way that you did in the 50s and 60s, because the world is different. You know, so many emotions and no logic and no game plan. That's why I can't take a lot of these pro-blacks seriously, because they talk all that shit. They talk all that shit about the motherland and stuff, but ain't none of them been to Africa, couldn't live in Africa, probably ain't got a passport, and real shit, in Chicago anyway, probably don't even have a fucking ID. Happens. Real talk, I'm here, I live it. So, what do you all think? Because I got to go here because, my wife is up and she's shushing me in the bathroom and telling me to be quiet and stuff when I'm obviously making a video. I love her, but dang, you got fellas out there that are married, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, what do you all think about Colin Kaepernick? Do you hate what I'm saying? Fine, put it in the comments. You want to call me names? Fine, put it in the comments. Again, I'm going to deal with it on my own. You know, I don't need Colin Kaepernick to come in here and kneel for me if someone's insulting me because of my views. I can handle it. So you think it's going to be a bestseller, or you think it's going to be a shit book, or are you not going to read it at all? Just let me know in the comments section. And please, 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 it's my new channel. I'm new to this. Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. And remember, there is no fate but what we make for ourselves. My name is Cliff London. Good morning, everybody. Have a good day.